Josh Beatar post-fight from the stands here at Eternal 77, and I'm joined by none other than Eugene Bareman. Eugene, thank you very much for your time, man. I very much appreciate it. Obviously a tough fight for Kieran in the main event there. What were your thoughts on the fight itself?
Oh, no, it was an excellent fight. It was a really high-quality fight. Like, both those guys are two of the better lightweights in our region. So you saw some excellent wrestling exchanges that went back and forth. You saw some good stand-up exchanges. You saw some good strategy being used. Like the Martinez camp, they used really good strategy. They got the body lock and they sucked up the clock, and it was good. And yeah, it was a high-level contest, a real high-level contest, and good for the sport.
Obviously, touching on the co-main event, obviously Ben Johnston picking up a massive win. For a guy that's such a Muay Thai base, coming and getting a submission like that, what does that make you think of him as an athlete and a competitor in this sport going forward?
Yeah, no, like Benny's typical of a lot of guys that come from a standout background. They put a lot of effort because obviously they've got quite a lopsided skill set.
Yeah.
They spend quite a few years developing that side. So, really, the days of just getting a Muay Thai guy in there and him can't be bothered doing jiu-jitsu or anything, those days are gone. So Benny works on his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu all the time. So I know he's a well-rounded fighter. Just the people of the public don't know that. But that was a good one for Benny.
Obviously, like he mentioned about the middleweight title and Eternal, and I know he was Israel's sparring partner for that fight against Pereira. What do you think his future is in the sport? He's very, very talented, and so early on in his MMA career. What sort of do you think is the ceiling for Ben?
Oh no, Benny's he's a world-class fighter. He needs a few more fights to get some experience, but you can't discount what he's already done in the sport. He's multiple-time world champion. Those are fights. They don't count for nothing. This is how City Kickboxing does so well. We move a lot of guys into the UFC who have already had 50, 60 fights. Well, Benny's of the same caliber. Those count for something. That's what gives you an advantage over a lot of the UFC competition. That you've been in such high-level competition, albeit a different sport. It's such a powerful weapon to have on the side. So Benny has the ability to fight with the best guys in the world, easily. Last
one from me, Eugene. I don't want to take too much of your time, man. But obviously, in the news is Volk fighting next weekend against Yair. Are you heading over for that fight?
No, I flew literally a couple of hours in for here. Then in the morning I fly out, and then Tuesday morning I fly over to Vegas. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that fight. Obviously, Yair's very stylistically. It's an interesting matchup. Obviously, he's quite a wild striker and sort of a different opponent, I think, that Volk's been used to. How do you sort of assess that fight and see that fight sort of playing out in your mind, do you think?
No, you're precisely right. Personally, I think this is probably going to be Volk's biggest test. And just obviously you've got the length to deal with, but you've got some just a unique approach to striking, just the way that Yair breaks the rhythm and the way that he does things a little bit unconventional. But at the end of the day, what I think will shine through is Volk's better all-round skill set. So his ability to mix it up and use the juxtaposition of both those, the wrestling and closing the distance and the striking. Using those two things together, I think that having a more diverse skill set is what's going to beat Yair. That's Volk's advantage here.
Huge. Thank you so much.